is how we take the pistol down. So we're just gonna hold that down, and then we actually have to discharge the trigger, which is a little odd. Yeah. So, but
Well, that's easy enough.
Can you,
so
can you do that again for the kids in back?
Pat, I tell you.
He is a hassle, isn't he?
So hold it back if you have to. This is another way of doing it. Use the optic, pinch, pull down, and then go ahead and squeeze the trigger. So now, in here, we can take a Q-tip, because all of these little steel bar parts in here, the trigger parts, in here, will get dirty, but it doesn't harm them in any way, shape, or form. Really, all of your functions in this block back here, and a lot of people mess with it. Honestly, the triggers on the RXMs are really good from the beginning. I wouldn't be messing with it personally. So set that aside. The biggest thing on a Glock type pistol is you need to keep the surfaces that interface relatively lubricated. And I say relatively because they will run either way. However, it will run much nicer with that done. So those surfaces, as we look at it, inside of the slide, riding on these little rail pieces right here. Everyone tracking those? That's your slide rail. They put a little grease on them, super light grease. I tend to use oil, but super light grease will work too. But what we want to do is make sure that same thing in here is these slide rails are actually fairly lubricated, because that is what's going to allow this pistol to ride back and forth. So in order to get at them, we're going to take the recoil spring out, and lift the barrel out. Now, if you are one of those people who cleans a rifle after every shooting and every range trip, you don't need to do that with a pistol. I don't think you need to do it with a rifle either, but that's just one of those things. Some folks love that methodology. So, where on this barrel does it interface the slide? So, the muzzle end right here is where it locks into the slide, but mainly your biggest lockup is this angle right here. So we want to put a little bit of oil there, and then these surfaces down here where the barrel actually cams in also will be our spots. So from there, what we're going to do, can do it also while the pistol is put together, but if you are going to clean, the function parts of this barrel really are your feed ramp. Just notice how dirty that already got. So if we clean that out, a lot of times in like stainless barreled pistols, you'll see that this is super high polished. It's because we want to make sure that it's fully functional on that side. So clean that area a little bit. If I do have to, say, really get after it, because I've been shooting this a lot and it's gotten very hot, I really like Bortac. This is the product that I use. It's carbon remover. A little dollop on top of a Q-tip. I'll just show you that actually. Will actually remove scary amounts of carbon. Things that are really stubborn, this stuff has cut through it in a way with very little effort. I've actually been really surprised by how good this is. So, going back in here, and I'm barely rubbing it, right? That's the nice thing about modern gun coatings too, is you don't have to sit and scrub the living snot out of them to get a function. But I mean, that's after I already wiped it once, we're still getting more. In here, in the slide. So, these channels are going to get dirty. They just are. This right here, this plunger, is actually more important. So the plunger is one of your safety features. You want to make sure that thing at least moves freely with very little effort. So, can you see that, Pat? Mm-hmm. So right there, little push, good to go. The other one that you are going to actually want to confirm has no debris in it is your extractor. So everyone see this little clip from the outside? It's got a small, exactly that. Yeah. If you look from the top, go ahead and pass that on. Look from the top. If there's any debris in that little hook, it will actually stop the gun from clamping as well onto the rim of the case, and it won't give you as much pull. So you want to make sure that you get in there and actually with a pick, and that's the one thing I'm going to want you to scrub a little bit. Mainly just pick that out so you get that full contact on the rim so you don't ever have a stoppage. Right? Now, there's enough tension on those, the way that Glock set it up and the way that Ruger did it afterwards. It is significantly sprung, so there's a bunch of tension there. It will make sure that there's plenty of tension to get on there, and it will yank a case out really well. I've never seen an extractor issue on a platform like this, so not something you need to worry about. This little hook right here.
Oh, okay.
So you want to make sure that inside's nice and square so it can grab onto the rim of a case.
Okay.
Yep. So, yep. And if not, honestly, a good dental pick is the best answer. companies like Real Avid, things like that, make a whole bunch of pick sets, and they're really nice. Otherwise, if you have other picks, you're welcome to get after it. So,
Grab them from your
a lot of times your dentist also will.
dentist next time you get.
Yeah, your hygienist will be like, hey, have any broken picks? They'll be like, yeah, why? I just need them. So, but this gun, in this platform style and design, has been made to run in every environment, in every set of dirtiness, everything you can think of. The nice thing about it, it's kind of like the AK of pistols, right? You can put that thing in ice, you can put it in sand, you can put it in, you name it, and it will run good. The nice thing is the RXM is the next next version of doing the same thing the right way. So now let's put it back together. We're gonna put a little oil on these rails. We're gonna put a little bit of oil on these rails because we're actually do it from the top back here, because as we draw the pistol back, it'll lubricate those rails a little bit more, okay? Then we'll lubricate the barrel. And honestly, as far as function clean goes, you don't really need to do any more. I don't think I've ever scrubbed a barrel ever on a pistol, and I have pistols with 70,000 rounds on them. So, if
Can
the
I ask a
accuracy,
follow-up question to that?
Yes.
Even your self-defense gun?
no. I also don't shoot thousands and thousands of rounds through.
Fair.
So, I mean, but the nice thing is, if you're shooting a fully jacketed bullet, where the copper jacket starts from the bottom and wraps around, which most of the defense bullets are, you don't get any of the leading that you get from an exposed base bullet. What happens there is powder hits and burns the lead at a certain temperature, and it oxidizes. And then as it goes down the barrel, it's actually left in your barrel. If you're shooting good ammo, in general, like I said, they'll do a cup that's a little bit reversed, where the exposed lead will be up top, or it'll be a red cap or a HST or anything like that. All of those options will give you the fact that it's going to be a much cleaner shooting bullet. I mean, I have 50,000 rounds on a number of different 2011 pistols that I shoot a lot, and I've never once scrubbed a barrel. Now, I've scrubbed feed ramps, I've scrubbed insides of slides because there's extra stuff in there, all that stuff. We want the gun to function. If you ever see a degradation in accuracy, then I will scrub a barrel. And I'll generally just carbon clean it, which is what this is going to do. It's not going to remove any copper. It's one of the reasons why I use a nylon brush to clean barrels for the most part. But if you are, like, say, a precision rifle shooter and you want to strip copper and go all the way back to the beginning, I have guns that I've done that on and they've come right back. I also have had good guns where it takes them a significant number of rounds to fall back in, to the point where I didn't really lose as much accuracy as I thought, and it took way longer to get the gun fouled back in. So I tend to just prefer to shoot it. And if I do run into a situation where, hey, it starts to change, then I'll full clean the gun, pretty much back to completely stock, completely tear it down. But more often than not, it's the function parts that need cleaning, from what I've seen. So. But, all right, let's put it back together. So one thing here, it's nice, everything's square and so it fits tight. We're gonna put the barrel tip in first, run it down, run it back. Your guide rod is a flat wire spring, so they end up collapsing really nicely. Push that into the end, push it down, and then ride it all the way. Come on. Come on. There we go. And now if you look on the barrel, see this little radius right here? Everyone see that radius at the bottom of the barrel? You got that? We want to make sure that this guide rod and the radius of the head of this guide rod fit all the way into that point. You'll know it. It won't go together very well if you do it otherwise. So we're gonna push that in, push down. Like I said, brand new gun. Gotta find the right spot. There we go. And then just ride it in. See how it kind of stopped right here? That's not it. If we put this together, it will find its way, but it's always nicer just to push it all the way down. That way you don't have to fight as much. All right, so now let's lube this thing. Remember I said there's some points in the barrel? I want to show you how to do it in case like you're shooting a lot and you just want to, like, it's starting to get sluggish. I want to show you how to do it with the gun together. Doing it when it's apart will be a little easier because I would have done it already before I put it back in. But, so we're going to put a dollop of oil right here in the inside of the rail. So now they're both done. Okay. Some people will put a little bit on this guy here because it is a plunger that does move back and forth. And see how I just released what that is your firing pin block. So this guy will run back and forth, and then when I push this, it'll actually recess. So that way if you ever drop it, it doesn't go off. So the little bit of oil that I put on it by pushing it up and down is plenty. All right, so now take it, make sure it's nice and flat. Sometimes I see where folks will like have this inadvertently at a different angle. So push that thing nice and flat, and all we're gonna do is rack it back. That's done. So now, oiling the barrel. You can see the wear spots kind of coming in, so I put a little bit right here, and then I rub it all the way around. That one's done. And then, like I said, the lockup is right here. And if you look on the pistol, there is a small gap right there. We could just put a little dollop of oil in there, and that way when it comes back and forth, it can wear in nice and smooth. See that? See that little tiny recess between the barrel and the slide? It's tiny, but it's so. All right, so now we'll just put a little bit of spot right here across the top of the slide. Nice thing about that is it's gonna drag it right into that spot. And if I don't want it on the outside, because I say it's my carry pistol, and I will wipe down pretty much every exterior bit of oil off the gun because I don't really want it. So, little oil gets on there. Oh, I don't want that on there. Get a little solvent and just kind of wipe it down. Get all that stuff off there. Yep. And then usually I have patches, but I use a lot of paper towels. Shop towels are my friend. I grew up in a body shop, so they're one of those things that, you know, like, it's shop towels are everywhere, and there's not a job a shop towel can't do. But yeah, so now we're done. Now we have nice smooth function. I always make sure that the gun does what it's supposed to. So now, for example, I'll lock it back. I'll make sure the slide stop functions real quick before we do anything else. So, gun's clear, right? Clear?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drop the trigger. Full function, okay? Reset. Everyone know what I mean by reset? So, gun goes off. I reset the slide. And now it pushes back out to the reset point and still fires. That's what I want to make sure happens. I want all those functions to be, make sure I didn't miss something, make sure I didn't put something back in the wrong spot. We didn't do enough to make that happen, but if you ever take apart your actual grip frame to do that, you can, because there's a ton of accessory grip frames for these things. Not just grip frames, but triggers as well. So, any questions?
This is unfair, I was late. Can you just show quickly how you got it started to get it apart?
Absolutely. So, this is the one, actually, Dennis. You want me to do it on video, or do you want to do it?
I'll prefer to watch you.
So, the way I like to hold the pistol is, again, I'm a lefty, so y'all be right-handed and normal. I'm going to push and pull, and then I'm going to pull straight down on this little lever here.
Oh, okay.
So once I pull down on this lever, I'm going to let it go forward. I do have to pull the trigger. It is one of those things where, before you do that, triple check your gun is clear. Always, always, always. That is step number one, point number one. Always, always, always. So now it's apart. You're welcome. But notice how on these slide rails, I just hit that oil in the back, but now they're everywhere they need to be. See? Okay. Any other questions, y'all?
For the level of cleaning you just showed us how to do, how frequent do you recommend doing
How
that?
many thousands of rounds are you going to shoot a quarter?
Is that a question?
Yeah.
Probably only hundreds.
Okay. I mean, unless you're shooting in a really, really dusty place, or like, honestly, there's some folks who live in like Idaho, for example, and Idaho's got this super fine silty sand that gets into everything. You really, like, if you only shoot the gun once a quarter, you might want to put a little oil on it if it comes out dry. You want to put a little oil on the gun, you don't need a lot. But, you know, as far as that goes, I would say you theoretically could run this thing dry for a really long time. Like I said, it's kind of like the AK of the pistol world. It is meant to run through everything. And I mean everything. Ice, sand, parma, dust, all those things. So the level of cleaning that I just did, if she gets a little sluggish, then clean it.
Right.
But otherwise,
Don't worry about it.
it'll function though no matter what. That's not a
Right.
question. But it is a function of how smooth do you want it to be? How much do you want it to? What level do you like running it at?
Right.
But yeah, I would say if you clean it like that every 500 rounds, and I've never done a deeper cleaning than that, other than taking this apart because this stuff will start to get really carbony just because it's a blowback pistol. So you could take this stuff apart, or honestly, I don't know how Magpul feels about it. But I mean, I use non-chlorinated brake clean, and I'll just blow this out and then let it dry and go to town. So, but like that's my
It's voice of experience, not owner's manual recommendation.
yeah. Mainly because taking it apart completely versus doing that, yields me the same performance roughly. But I'll be honest, I'm used to using steel frame pistols or metal frame pistols that non-coordinated brake clean has no effect on. But if I know Magpul, they did a good job on that. And I did pretty well. So, yeah. But if you do want to take it apart, it's fairly simple. Honestly, it's just this pin and this pin here. You'll take it apart. I haven't taken one of these down yet, but knowing the team that designed this pistol and the Magpul folks as well, really well, they made it very, very simple. And the nice thing is they made it a cartridge style, more of an FCU style trigger group versus all of the individual pieces that were standard on the previous style model. Yeah, I'm excited. I actually shot these for the first time earlier in the year, and for a out-of-the-box pistol, it is shocking how good it is, especially the price point they're asking for it. So,
I was impressed with it.
yeah, I mean,
Especially with that new optic put on it.
I will say this. Thank you for that, Tanya. But
It is a sweet setup.
but shooting a dot, we're all hopefully old enough. I make this reference, and I'm starting to realize that I'm old now. When I was growing up, Nintendo was just coming out, and Paperboy was one of the games that was on it. Thank you, brother. I feel like a dot allows me to throw the paper from the road. What I mean by that is, if I'm shooting irons, my focus as a shooter has to be, I walk up to the house, I set the paper down because I can't throw it, right? I have to like focus on the target, come back, confirm on the front sight, then take my shot, right? Whereas when I shoot a red dot, all I do is look at the world, pick a target that I want to shoot at, bring the gun, bang, eyes up to the next target. Because now I'm able to see the world from back here, from the road, if you will. Whereas otherwise I have to change my focus. Find a target, walk up with my front sight, make sure my front sight's good. Okay, cool, take my shot, come back. The nice thing, like I said, about a dot is I get to see the world as a whole. And I just live in this much more open area and allows me to transition significantly faster. Now, I've made that reference to a dealer group not that long ago, and everybody was young enough, they looked at me like I was insane. And I was like, found a group that I'm now old for. So, but anyway, if you do have any questions, if you do have anything, let me know. It is one of those things, like I said, this pistol, literally you could not care for, you could throw it in your safe and pick it up months, years later, and this thing will run without issue, flawlessly. However, if you do give it a little bit of oil, it'll just be that much happier. So. Any questions, y'all? Cool. Josh, you good? You want to deliver some scores? Let's head back over the other side, y'all. Like I said, if you do come up with something, let me know. But otherwise, we'll keep rocking.
Here, if you don't look at the camera.
Now he has some editing.